Wow, stories.
Am I the idiot for cutting off my sister-in-law after she claimed my husband is gay? A month ago, my sister-in-law came to my house with her daughter. I also have a 6-month-old baby. Anyways, everything was going pretty normal. We talked, made dinner, and vented to each other about normal marriage life stuff. Then, things took a turn. My husband and I moved into our house 6 months prior to this visit with my sister-in-law. So literally 1 week after I gave birth, we moved into this house. My husband works a lot, so the majority of caring for our baby is on me. And that's okay. But for the first 3, maybe 4 months, I was really in the trenches. So anyway, she starts to tell me that she and my husband's brother are very upset with us because we haven't invited them over for dinner yet. Huh? So at this point, I'm just letting her vent on why she's upset with us, even though they live 20-some minutes away and have never asked to come see their new nephew, or she just doesn't talk to me at all. LOL, this visit was rare, by the way. It was really out of the blue. Anyways, she's going on that she's pissed because I haven't cooked dinner for her family yet. Okay, sorry. I've been extremely overwhelmed with my baby, first-time mom, and his medical issues and bills and just day-to-day life. I honestly haven't even thought of it. I also struggled with postpartum depression pretty badly, and I was on medication for it. It was literally the last thing on my mind. So I apologized. Then she starts to tell me that a week prior, at her BBQ, that my husband and I were at, that she and her husband, my husband's brother, thought my husband looked depressed. I was honestly confused because I've never noticed that, and my husband and I really talk about everything, and I was just surprised she said that. I asked her, why do they think he seems depressed? And she says, before I tell you, you have to promise me you won't tell your husband. So now I am terrified, anxious, curious, all of the above. And I told her I promised I wouldn't say anything. Then, in front of her daughter, who is almost 10 years old, she starts to tell me that she and my brother-in-law think that my husband is depressed because he is actually gay and can't live his truth. Then, word for word, she told me, we honestly think he married you and had a baby with you as a front. Holy shit, what? So now I'm actually feeling weird. She went into detail that she thinks my husband and his best friend for over 10 years, who is married with children, are having or were having a secret relationship. What? My sister-in-law has known my husband for over 15 years. How could she say this to me after everything I've been through? Even if it was true, why? You know what I mean? So she left my house, and I honestly was overthinking it for days before I finally told my husband. He is extremely upset. My brother-in-law is the type of man that if I would have said that to his wife about him, he would have come for my throat. My husband and I decided not to say anything yet, but it's getting hard. It has been about a month. After she left my house that night, she has not said a word to me since. Like, how do you lay that on someone and go mute? We're family? I've been married to my husband almost 3 years now, and I absolutely believe him, but that's beside the point. I need to know what is the correct way to confront them. I'm sorry, but you cannot come into my house and tell me my entire life is fake. Also, I want to add, a week ago, it was my sister-in-law and brother-in-law's other child's birthday. The party was outside and 94 degrees out. I didn't feel comfortable having my baby outside in that heat. When we told them that and that we weren't coming to the party because of that, they told us they didn't give a FK if we came and hung up the phone and haven't said a word since. My husband is pissed and hurt, and so am I, and I'm so tired of letting things slide with his family. How do my husband and I navigate this issue? Thanks. Now for an update. My husband will be saying something to his brother soon. I will update everyone. I am cutting off my sister-in-law completely. I will update everyone who wants to know when it happens and what exactly does happen. Thank you for all the advice. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. How do you handle it? Either you both say nothing and have minimal contact with the sister-in-law, or your husband has to talk to his brother. You need to stay out of it. In any case, I would avoid all contact with the sister-in-law as minimal as possible. As of now, You cannot be sure your brother-in-law even knows she was there. Never mind what she said. So as of right now, she is the problem. It's up to your husband if he feels comfortable broaching that issue with his brother. Comment 2. Don't do anything. Just go no contact with the sister-in-law and watch your husband more closely over the next year. Soon it'll be clear if she's just a vindictive troublemaker mad at you for not showing up to the party, or if your husband is hiding something, or both. Now for the update. Hey everyone, a lot has happened since my last post. So my husband finally confronted his brother. It was a tense conversation, to say the least. My husband started by asking his brother why they thought he was depressed. His brother seemed taken aback and tried to brush it off as a misunderstanding. But my husband pressed on, mentioning the specific things his sister-in-law had said. At first, his brother denied everything, but then he admitted that they had been concerned about him. He said they were just worried and didn't mean to cause any trouble. My husband was furious and told him that if they were truly concerned, they should have come to him directly instead of spreading such hurtful rumors. During this confrontation, my sister-in-law walked in and tried to defend herself, saying she was just looking out for her brother. My husband told her that if she really cared, she wouldn't have gone behind his back and said such things to me. She started crying and said she didn't mean to hurt anyone. But my husband wasn't having it. He told her that she had crossed a line and that he needed some space from them. After that, we decided to take a break from his family. We didn't attend any family gatherings, and we stopped answering their calls. It was hard, especially because we were so used to being involved in family events, but we needed to protect our peace. In the meantime, I started noticing some changes in my husband. He seemed more withdrawn and less communicative. I asked him if he was okay, and he said he was just stressed about the whole situation. I tried to be supportive and give him space, but it was hard not to worry. A few days later, my husband's best friend came over. They talked for hours, and I could hear bits and pieces of their conversation. It seemed like my husband was opening up to him about everything that had happened. After his friend left, my husband seemed a bit more at ease. He told me that his friend had reassured him that he was doing the right thing by setting boundaries with his family. But then, something unexpected happened. My sister-in-law showed up at our house unannounced. She was visibly upset and begged to talk to me. I was hesitant, but I let her in. She apologized profusely for everything she had said and done. She admitted that she'd been projecting her own insecurities onto my husband, and that she was struggling with her own issues. She said she was going through a rough patch in her marriage and had taken it out on us. I didn't know what to say. On one hand, I felt sorry for her, but on the other hand, I was still hurt by her actions. I told her that while I appreciated her apology, it would take time for me to trust her again. She seemed to understand and said she was willing to do whatever it took to make things right. After she left, I talked to my husband about what had happened. He was surprised that she had come over and apologized. We decided to give her some time to prove herself, but we agreed that we needed to keep our distance for now. In the following days, my husband and I had some deep conversations about our relationship and our future. We talked about how we could support each other better and how we could strengthen our bond. It was a tough but necessary conversation, and it brought us closer together. As for my sister-in-law, she started going to therapy to work on her issues. She reached out to us a few times to check in and see how we were doing. While we were still cautious, we appreciated her efforts to make amends. One day, my husband received a letter from his brother. In it, he apologized for everything that had happened and admitted that he had been wrong. He said he missed his brother and wanted to make things right. My husband was touched by the letter, but he wasn't ready to forgive and forget just yet. He decided to take things slow and see how his brother's actions matched his words. In the meantime, we focused on our little family. Our baby was growing and thriving, and we wanted to create a positive and loving environment for him. We spent more time together as a family and made an effort to communicate openly and honestly. Looking back, this whole ordeal was a wake-up call for us. It made us realize the importance of setting boundaries and protecting our peace. It also showed us the value of open communication and mutual support in a relationship.